Don't you hate it when people are like, in order to receive love, you need to love yourself first? Well, they actually might be onto something. In this video, I'm not here to pick apart myself and be like, oh, these are the reasons why I haven't been in a relationship yet. It's because of my face or the way how my body is, my personality. No. On this channel, we're not doing that here. We're just not doing that. No, we're not doing that here. I'm speaking from a self-actualized version of myself who's able to like look back and reflect on her journey with all of the experiences that I've had that in relation to love that left me feeling sad, angry, hopeless, or sometimes just simply mad. To understand like all of those things needed to happen to bring her to the biggest realization she's ever made in her life, which is, and you may not like this, the reason why I haven't been in a relationship yet is because I needed to understand what true love looks and feels like. And as cliche as that may sound, it all had to start with me. And I needed to teach myself what true love looks and feels like through loving, devoting, and committing myself to me. So stick around because I'll be talking about all of my experiences that have led me to where I am now, where I'm able to understand that all of the pain, disappointment that I went through wasn't for nothing, and it's to lead me to myself, to my true soulmate. It's me, which I know kind of sounds like, it may sound kind of crazy, but it's more of just like learning that the relationship that you have with yourself sets the foundation for the relationships that you will have with other people. Loving yourself first and understanding your needs, your desires, your standards helps you determine how you want to be treated by other people. So by me loving myself first, I understand what I want to look for and what my true love looks like. So if that resonates with you, stick around for my story, my journey about everything. Number one, for most of my life, I've always been in non-reciprocal relationships. And I'm not talking about romantic relationships because literally the video is about me not having a boyfriend. These are all of my like friendships and platonic relationships. Like when it came to my platonic relationships, I would always be the one that's like overcompensating, like doing whatever I can to keep that person in my life. Like it doesn't matter like what it was. Like I mean, I had like a, I guess I had like a standard of when I like stop, like, you know, my maximum, but like I would do everything and anything I can to keep that person my friend. And sometimes that means like I would be spending tons of money on them. I'll be pouring my energy and my time, like basically giving my entire self up for them, you know? And it left me feeling empty. It left me feeling drained and exhausted. And it left me feeling those things because one, they never gave that energy, time, and like they just never reciprocated that energy back to me. I was always the one giving. And at that time, I thought that in order to receive love, in order to receive attention, in order to receive anything, you needed to give, like all the time, like no matter what it is, like no matter if it meant that it came at a cost of something of yourself. Like I just always needed to give in order to receive, and that is not love. Love is not conditional, and you don't need to give something. You don't need to do anything to make people like you. You know, you should just be able to be yourself, you know. And oh my god, the people pleaser in me, I would stay quiet. I wouldn't disagree. I would shrink myself for the benefit and comfort of others, just because I was so scared of being alone and having no friends. And as a result of this, I would also like mold myself into what I thought people wanted me to be, or who I thought they wanted me to be. And it was just an exhausting process because through all of that, I never was authentically myself. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I liked or disliked. I was a person that these groups of people wanted me to be, because I thought that in order to be who they wanted me to be, that means that I'll be loved, I'll be accepted, and I would have friends. So basically all of that, no bueno, no good, no good at all. So I was a people pleaser, I would overcompensate, and I would mold myself into who I thought people wanted me to be, just for company and just for people to like me. Number 2, for most of my life, I've been sexualized by men. I mean, every woman goes through this. I feel like most women go through this when they are constantly sexualized by men, and especially as a Black woman. And I'm not saying this like, oh, like to feel bad or whatever. Black women historically and statistically have been sexualized, over-sexualized, and hyper-sexualized starting from a young age. And being a girl who was very curvy, or who is very curvy, and I grew up in a lot of environments where people would be like, your body is so da-da-da-da, like they just go shit to my body, you know, and pass over everything else. They're like, oh my God, like your butt, like your hips, your thighs. And I know they meant well, I think, you know, I feel like sometimes we kind of get wrapped up over the superficial things or the physical things, like the surface level things. And obviously I've been there as well. But because people put so much attention on my body and what it looked like, I thought that was the most valuable thing about me, was my body. Like my thickness, my curviness, and my butt. And this also wasn't just coming from men. Like this was also coming from women in my family, women that I met like randomly for the first time, or just like people that like I would also just like meet and at school. Like I had people come up to me and like tell me, like, oh, the things that I would do with your body. And I'm like, how do you respond to that? Like I don't know how you can respond to that in a way that's like, yeah, like, and sometimes I think I would like giggle or laugh or be like, hee hee ha ha ha, like, because I was uncomfortable. Like I just didn't know what to say. Like I don't know. And then maybe they thought that like they were complimenting me, but no. Because of that, I was just like, wow, like my body is the only thing that's like beautiful or attractive about me. Like that is the only reasons why people like me. And I felt like that influenced how men approached me. Like they would be men that like would come up to me and like their eyes would just not bleed out, but like it would just like highlight their like they wanted to take something from me, or like you can just see like their eyes were jumping, but just in a very like uncomfortable way, where they would just be like consuming my whole body and being like, oh, like I feel like they're just like thinking nasty things. Like before they saw my soul, before they saw me, they saw my body, and they were like, oh, I want her, like I want, like her body could please me in ways, you know. Like it was just such a dehumanizing experience and thing to go through, where people would just automatically see you for your body and not see you for your soul and for your personality and who you are. And so that really led me to just putting so much value on my body and not caring what I personally thought about what I looked like, as long as other people were happy, and as long as I was like getting attention from people because of my body. As I've kind of like grown out of my previous self, like that self that thought that like her worth was determined by her physical appearance, now I know that my worth goes way beyond my physical appearance. Like to me personally, my physical appearance is the least exciting thing about me. Like there is so much more to this girl here, okay? So that's why now I know that I place so much value on my soul, on my personality, and how I view life, how I talk to people, how I make people smile. Like those things mean so much to me. But yeah, pretty much just men sexualizing me, and even just women kind of, I guess, projecting like their desires for my body type, led me to place all my worth on my body and my physical appearance. My third reason is because I've never had a boyfriend and I desperately wanted a relationship so bad. When someone would like me back, I would do two things. I would either, one, cling onto them and attach myself to them, or two, I would be avoidant. And I would kind of get scared. I kind of like, basically I kind of like freeze, be like, oh, someone likes me back. Like, what do I do now? Which I think is crazy because you would think that like I'd be like, oh yeah, let's go. Like no, like I'd be like, oh no, like it's okay. Like I was just joking. Like all my feelings were just they weren't real. Now I'll explain like how I reacted in both situations. But there were boys that did like me back, right? And it always never worked out, and I never understood how like things would unfold to the fact like it just would never work out. So there's one time this boy like liked me, or like we were talking, you know on the talking stage, whatever. And when you were talking to someone and then they pull back, and then you're like, well, for me, I was like, why? Like, what did I do? And like I would literally lower my self-esteem by like texting him, like doing whatever I could to get his attention back. Like I would just like cling on to the potential opportunity of love so bad that I would do anything just to keep the momentum going and to like not keep him in my rotation, but like just to make sure that it happens somehow. Like, so yeah, I would cling out of desperation. Or two, there's this time when this boy that I liked so much liked me back, and guys, I was dumbfounded. I was like, how could he possibly like me? Like again, like acting out of this like victim mindset, or just like kind of just like being like there's so many things like wrong about me, or there's so many other girls that he could possibly like. How could he possibly like me? And now like looking back, I was like, girl, you were so insecure. Like you were so like you thought like you were so ugly. And I'm saying this out of love. Like I love myself, and I know I am a beautiful being. So I'm saying this all out of love, but I thought that I was so ugly, that I was so unworthy of the love that I desired and wanted. So when that boy like finally liked me back, I was shook. I was like, nah, I'm good. No, thank you. Like, and all the signs were there. But I chose to ignore them. I was like, I was just so scared. Like, so I would either act out of desperation and tried everything I could to possibly make it happen, or I would get anxious and I think become avoidant and be like, no, I'm not deserving of this, because there are other girls who I put on a pedestal of, or I had categorized as, these girls are worthy of relationships and worthy of boyfriends because they look better than me, or like they are better than me, or like they are beautiful than me. Like again, like these all pointed out my insecurities and the ways in which I was like, I am not worthy of love because of all the bad qualities about myself. That makes sense. And then there's also a thing that I was a victim to called limerence. And I'm going to read a definition because this thing is deep. Like, I did not know I like did this a lot until I read about it, and I was like, oh my God, like that's me. So if this is you too, let me put you on. So let me read the definition of limerence. Okay, so guys, the definition of limerence is a state of obsession or infatuation with someone who is not in a romantic relationship with you. One hallmark of the state of limerence is searching for signs and clues that the other person secretly feels the same way about you. And it could also mean like you spend time obsessively like thinking about them all the time. Like you don't even know this person like at all. You don't know this person, you don't know who they are, but you're just so infatuated about them. You're so infatuated with them, and you fantasize being in a relationship with them, and they consume most of your thoughts. And you kind of just like put them on a pedestal, and you basically like, if you try to look for signs that they like you, and when you do find something, like something as small as them like looking at you, like you get so happy that it makes your day. But like if you like see them and they don't look at you one day, it's like doomsday. It's a bad day. It's a bad day for you. And that happened to me a lot. And my goodness, this was a time where I became so obsessed with this boy. I did not know who he was. I know zilch. Nothing about this man. But one thing I realized is that because he looked at me, you know, when you like, when you're so desperate for love, and you are desperate for someone to see you and make you feel seen, make you feel heard, make you feel valued, you grow an attachment to them. You become so attached to the feelings that they make you feel rather than the person themselves, if that makes sense. And so I was so caught up with the ways in which he made me feel. Like, I just wanted someone to validate my physical appearance, to look at me, to make me feel seen, to make me feel desirable or lovable. And like, again, I know nothing about the boy, but I spent so much time like thinking about like what it would be like to be in a relationship with him, or like who he possibly could be, or just pouring all of my energy and time into the idea of him rather than actually facing my reality, if that makes sense. And so one, I grew so attached to him because of the ways he fulfilled things that I wasn't taking the time to fulfill for myself. I just like, again, and one thing now that I look back at it, like all he did was make me feel seen, and I put him on a pedestal. I think because he was this boy where I was like, there's no way like I could be his type. And so because he gave me attention even when it was wavering, like he did a little like, a little look and that took me, that was it. That was my end. That's how it used to be for me. And so he just made me feel seen. Like he just made me feel seen. Like, pretty much that's it. And I was like, now looking back, I was just like, attention is not love. Let me say it again. Attention is not love. Period. It's just not love. And limerence is not love. And what I felt for him was not love at all. I really thought it was, but it was not, because my reality was I didn't know him. There was nothing for me to love about him because I didn't know anything about him. I mean, I just really liked the way he made me feel. That was it. That was that whole interaction. And that was something that I had been doing for years and years and years. And it just took this version of me now to like really sit with it and be like, baby girl, like that wasn't love. Like you didn't know the man, you didn't like him, and you need to start filling your own cup. But most importantly, that example really, really, really pointed out to me how I was looking for others to fill this void inside of me that I felt was empty for so long. Like when he looked at me, not even when he looked at me, but like the idea of us being in a relationship together, like it made me feel like happiness is possible. Like all things in life is possible. Like I could do anything. Like it just, again, I was searching for so much external validation for love and for feeling seen or feeling desirable or feeling loved, and it's just not healthy. I love myself and I love that part of myself, and that she needed to go through all of that to be where she is now. And I mean, this goes for the entire video. So again, I just want to say I hold no guilt, no shame in any of the experiences that I'm speaking about in this video, because I had to go through all of these things to be where I am now. Like beautiful, better, happy, fulfilled. Like I am the happiest I've ever been, ever, because I'm just like, wow, like the power that comes with loving with yourself is like unlimited. Like you can do anything with the love that you have for yourself. But anyways, let's continue on with the video. Number 4, the one that I hated the most is me. I just attracted men that were always in their feminine energy. And I'm not talking about men that were feminine, because if you don't know, like all humans have a mixture of feminine and masculine energy. And when I said that I attracted men that were in their feminine energy, I'm saying that I attracted men who wanted me to chase them, who put me in my masculine energy. And personally, I think it's degrading. Like I feel like I deserve to be courted. I deserve to be pursued. Like I should not be the one texting you, or like, again, holding the string so tightly and doing anything I can to like get love or attention from you, because that means you don't like me. Like, I mean, now I know that, but like previously I was like, oh my god, let me do anything I can, to gain his attention or just to keep him like in my life. No, not anymore. Because I attracted men that were always in their feminine energy, I was also a victim to breadcrumbing. And if you don't know what breadcrumbing is, let's grab the dictionary again. Breadcrumbing, okay. Breadcrumbing is a form of emotional abuse that someone uses to attract a potential or current partner. someone who breadcrumbs generally enjoys the chase of a relationship more than the actual work entailed. These types of people are erratic and unpredictable and will give you just enough crumbs to keep you feeling intrigued. Breadcrumbing can occur in casual dating, but also within more serious commitments and marriages, which I didn't know it could happen in marriages. Breadcrumbing happened to me recently, and I don't think this person did it intentionally. I think that both of us were acting out of our ego. And I think one, he liked the chase. He liked me texting him first. He liked me approaching him first, giving him I feel like it was just mostly attention. I think he just liked the attention I was giving him, and he liked the chase. Like one day he was hot and then he's cold, and the next like he's not giving me the same energy or whatever. I don't know. It was just so confusing. And when people leave you confused, it's time to go. It's really time to go. Like when you know you're not worthy of confusion, of people trying to, when people are confused about you, it's just not automatically to the left, like you gone. It's time to go. But because again, when you're so desperate for love and you want a relationship so badly, you do anything. You keep coming back, and you'll be like, oh, maybe like this time he'll change, or maybe if I do something different, then it will yield the results that I want. No, baby. He does not like you. He does not love you. And this boy, he was, to me, I felt like every time I spoke to him, I felt like he took something, or he was like taking something away from me. I felt like he was acting out of his ego. Like he just loved the attention that I was giving him. Like I like my attention was feeling his ego, and that's why I think he liked me. And I know why I kept going back. I kept going back because I was just like my pride and ego got in the way. I was like, no way did I let this boy come into my life and mess up my peace. Like I was so fine. Like I was chilling. I was not looking at anyone. Like I was having a good time. Like he come and mess up my peace. I was like, no, like there's no way. So I kept going back because I was like, I need you to prove to me that you like me so that I feel better about myself. That was it. I just needed him to say or show that he liked me just so that I could feel better, or just so that I could like have a one up. Like I know you liked me, like, but again, like the fact that he wasn't able to be very clear about his feelings or just be upfront, be consistent. Like again, all signs of just like they're all red flags. Now I know they're all red flags, but my previous self, she didn't know. But now she knows, and breadcrumbing, no bueno. Again, another no bueno. Not good. But that is something I went through. I also would like mother the guys that I liked. Like I would just be like, what can I do for you to like, have to make you have a good day, or like, just like being really soft with them. I'm not saying like I'm not supposed to be soft with people. I'm just saying there's a way to go about it. Like, I don't think mothering the guys that you like or mothering men that you want to be in a relationship is a good thing, because you are not their mothers. No. And that is not your job. It is not your job to mother people. But I think, period. I think, like, obviously, people could come to vent to you and talk to you. Personally, I think you should be mothering yourself, parent yourself, But mothering a guy I like kind of, I think, puts you in this like, oh, she could be a provider, like she could be someone like my mom for me, which is personally no bueno for me. I don't want. So but to sum it all up, because I was in my masculine energy, I attracted men that were in their feminine energy and who wanted me to do the pursuing, do the chasing, do the texting, basically making all the first moves. And now I know that I am worthy of someone to court me, to pursue me, and to show me that they are worthy to be in my life and they are worthy to be loved by me. Not the other way around, where I need to put on an act, put on a show, and do whatever I can to show this boy that I like, that I'm worthy of his attention and love. No. Number 5. Oh, number 5 is one of the things that I have struggled with for a very long time, and it's my own self-confidence and worth. There were times where I had a hard time looking into the mirror. Like, I would brush my teeth in the darkness. I would just not look at myself. Like, even when it came to pictures, like, I hated pictures. And one of the main reasons why is because, like, my acne, which I still have now, and she's still pretty with her acne, period. But my acne played a huge part in me feeling ugly. And also my hyperpigmentation. There's a lot of things, like, just I always found ways to criticize myself and then justify it or be like, these are the reasons why I haven't had a boyfriend, it's because I'm ugly. Like, now looking back at my previous self, and I'm like, damn, like, I really told myself that, like, I'm ugly and I'm unworthy. And the thing is that when you think you're ugly, when you have taught yourself to believe that you are ugly, you then use that as reasonings to understand why people mistreat you, or why you're unworthy of love, or why bad things happen to you. Like, literally, oh my god, being trapped in the idea that you are ugly is so scary. Like, it's just so bad. It's so bad for you. Like, in all facets of your life. I feel like it, like, trickles into everything that you do. The way how you speak to others, the way that you show up in life, the way how you maybe the way how you chase after your dreams or whatever. Like, you feel that you are unworthy because you are ugly, because you think you're ugly. Actually, let me get that straight. No one is ugly. I get we can debate on that. I know that people are like, oh no, when people say that no one's ugly, they don't really mean it. No, I mean it. No one's ugly. Ugly is a man-made idea and concept, pretty much. Let's be serious. Oh, let's be for real. So yeah, because I felt ugly, I was so comfortable shrinking myself for others. I was so comfortable being in the shadows of others. I was so comfortable being ignored, being unseen by people. Like, I was just like, yeah, I mean, like, that makes sense because I look the way I look, so it makes sense why people just don't, recognize me, that they just don't acknowledge my existence. Y'all, I was so comfortable with people not doing that. Like, oh my god. And again, my previous self needed to go through that, and, like, that's totally fine. But my lack of self-worth, my lack of confidence in myself and my beauty and who I am is what I use to justify all the things that were happening in my relationships, all the things that were happening to me platonically and romantically. But, like, now I know that I'm beautiful, and I've always been beautiful. Like, there's never been a time where I haven't been beautiful, and I always, even when I look back at pictures where I think that, like, I hated myself or where I was so insecure, I look back and I'm like, I just talk to that picture and I'm like, you're so beautiful. Like, that version of me deserves to be seen, period. She deserves to be seen. She deserves to be loved. She deserves to be appreciated. And she is inherently valuable. Now I know that I am inherently valuable. And again, like, my physical appearance is the least exciting thing about me. My soul is what makes me so beautiful. It's taken me a while to get here. But that's what I've learned from, my lack of self-worth. And on my final reason why I haven't been in a relationship yet is because I, for such a long time previously, have outsourced my power. And when I mean, like, I've outsourced my power, I mean that, like, I would put my happiness in the hands of others. And that looked like, and you can see that through, like, the bread-crumbing that I went through, or the limerence, or the people pleasing tendencies that I had. I fully believe that if I got into a relationship, or when I got into a relationship, I would feel full. Like, I would feel happy. I would, things in my life would start propelling. Like, only then would I be able to experience the true joy of life and of living. And now I know that's not true. I know that my happiness is not in the hands of others. Like, if someone doesn't think that I'm attractive, that's fine. Like, And I'll continue to walk away knowing that I am beautiful, and that somebody's lack of ability to see my worth does not determine how I view and see myself. I tell myself I am beautiful. I tell myself that I make myself feel seen. You know, I tell myself everything I need to hear first, because I am my first fan. Because if I let people determine my worth, I will never individually feel enough. I will always be outsourcing my power. I will always be looking for men to speak on my body. I will always be looking for men to validate my beauty. I will always be looking for someone to validate me, to make me feel loved, to make me feel desirable, to make me feel seen, to make me feel valuable. And now I've learned like that, like all of that is not needed. I don't need anyone to tell me, because I have myself. It all starts with me. And when you do that, when you give people the power to determine your happiness, or like you let someone else be the source of your love, you really just give them you give them so much power over your life, over your happiness, over yourself, period. And we're not about that. Like I'm no longer letting the lack of actions of others, people not like a guy didn't like approach me, or no one danced with me, or guys being like breadcrumbing me, or doing whatever they do that is like not of my worth, to feel like that is a reflection of my worth. Does that make sense? Like I'm not letting someone sexualizing me, or like catcalling me, or breadcrumbing me, or ghosting me be like, oh my gosh, I am unworthy of love. No. And I'm saying that to you too. No, if that happens to you, or if that has happened to you in the past, that does not determine your worth and your ability to receive and be loved, period. And now I know that like if I had gotten into a relationship, there were so many things that I would have let slide, because I thought that love is conditional, that I had to give and give and give, that I would have ultimately have lost myself in order to receive the love of someone else. And there's this book, if you're interested, it's called The Mastery of Love by Miguel Ruiz, and he says this quote that is just so beautiful. I'm gonna read it to you guys. If you have all the love you need and someone asks you to let them control you for love, you say no thank you. You say no thank you. You said, wait, what did Ari say? Thank you. Next, thank you. Next, thank you. She said, I'm so grateful for my ex. Like, you know, like I think sometimes you learn to alchemize pain, and you learn to see that there were lessons in the things, in the bad things that went wrong in your life, or that went wrong in your non-existent love life if you're here. And I'm saying there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's okay. Everything will be fine. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video is that when you seek love out of desperation, when you chase love out of desperation, you are doing anything, you are changing yourself. You're allowing people to manipulate you, to abuse you, to do all of these things for you in the form of love, but it's really not. And I'm here to tell you, it all starts with you. It truly does. And I'm saying this all out of love, and I'm saying this coming from a person who hasn't had a relationship yet, and who now truly understands why she went through all of what she did to get where she is now. I am learning the action. I'm learning what it means to be loved truly, purely, unconditionally, and it's the most like freeing and beautiful experience ever. And as this video comes to an end, I just want to say it's very normal to want love. I mean, y'all, I said I am not in a relationship yet, okay? As a hopeless romantic, as a girl that like lives her life in like the clouds, like I am such a like fantasizer and like daydreamer. Like that is me. And I truly believe that the love that I seek, the love that I desire already exists, and my person already exists. Is that I just needed to go through all those things to be able to recognize the quality of the love that I desire. And I know that a lot of people nowadays are being like, love is dead. Love is dead. No one really wants true relationships. But like, if you continue to feed into that like reality and perspective, then you will, I think it will just reflect back to you. Like, then you'll continue to meet people who are on that same wavelength, or who are also in that same reality of just like not wanting to be in relationships or commitments that you seek and you desire. I'm telling you that love is abundant. This universe is abundant. Everything that you want, everything is in abundance, okay? So let's keep filling our cups. Let's keep trusting the divine timing of God and the universe, or whatever you believe, and know that the love that you desire exists and it's already there, and it's just waiting for you to finally be able to recognize that you deserve it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the start of my series called Lessons in Love, Becoming Whole from Within. I'll be taking you guys along my self-love journey, sharing the lessons that I've learned, redefining love based off of like societal ideas of what love is supposed to look like, or whatever that they say, and also just like sharing my ideas around concepts or ideas around love, and like unpacking that and just like getting into the nitty-gritty of it all. So that if you want to begin your self-love journey, if you're ready to change your perspective of love and start to begin to love yourself, then, you know, don't be shy, hit that subscribe button, join this journey with me. I think it's going to be a very fun one. It's going to be a very fulfilling one, and it's really all about reclaiming your power, loving yourself, and truly discovering the power that comes with loving oneself. The magic begins when you start loving yourself, pretty much. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sending you so much warmth, love, and joy. Thank you so much. Bye.